Become my friend with benefits. Wait, this isn't OnlyFans. Get exclusive content, early access, and guaranteed answers to your messages, but no feet pics when you support the habit at patreon.com/doseofbuckley. So, maybe you noticed this, but race relations in the United States have been, how can I put this? A little touchy over the last few weeks. The murder of George Floyd has really set off some shit with my southern neighbors, and has ultimately started some discussions that need to happen in not just their country, but worldwide. Smug-ass Canadians like to go, yeah, fucking racist Americans, we don't have that fucking kind of shit here, eh? As our Prime Minister dressed in blackface on like 3 separate occasions only several years ago. We have an incident every so often with people throwing bananas at black hockey players, and we still had residential schools only like 25 years ago where they sent native kids to try and Christian them up so they'd be less native. But anyway, this video isn't about those conversations because that's not what I do, and I'm not the guy to have those conversations anyway. That's for much smarter individuals than the goofy fuck who reviews pop songs and makes a few dumb jokes about society every now and then. No, this is about the conversations happening that are diluting all the important conversations and bringing out the Americans today are a bunch of pussy snowflakes now people. Because you got every company falling over each other to go, look at what we did once. It's time for us to apologize. Look at how good we are at apologizing. Look at Wizards of the Coast, for example, creators of Magic the Gathering. Out of nowhere one day, they released a statement about how they were banning some of the game's more racially insensitive cards that they released over the years. No complaints, no one hashtag canceled them. They just said, oh man, everyone else is apologizing. We gotta get our name out there too. And the cynic in me, which is mostly all of me, wonders if that's why they do it. A little viral advertising. Now, some of the cards were like, there's one that's clearly Ku Klux Klan shadows, and the card is called Invoke Prejudice. And another called Crusade, which gives a bonus to all white creatures. So, sure, they're not a good look, and you wonder why these were made, went through quality control, and were released in the first place, other than someone going, this'll be funny. But it's lip service. These cards weren't even tournament legal anyway. They're like 25 years old, and the way Magic tournaments work, they cycle old shit out from time to time anyway, especially cards that are that old. But they do this shit, and then they go, see, we care about racism. And then you look at their company website. Well, awful lot of honkies in these pictures. Not seeing much diversity. Oh, but they deleted a card called Cleanse that destroyed all black creatures, so they support the cause, brother. Another company throwing up their hands and yelling, hey, look at us, we're pretending to do something about racism too, is Netflix, who started removing any content that included someone in blackface. Now, you might think, Buckley, isn't that good? And my answer would normally be yes, except when it's something making fun of racists. In the UK, they recently removed episodes of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia that involved blackface, including an episode where Dee dresses up in blackface and also imitates an Asian woman to try and be funny while all the other characters call her racist. And the episodes where they make their own Lethal Weapon sequels, with the characters arguing about whether doing a black face or a black voice is more racist, have also been pulled. Now the audience is smart enough to understand, I hope, that we're laughing at how fucking out of touch these characters are. Because that is the entire point. It's the entire reason everything works on It's Always Sunny. Why the offensive comedy can work. Because we're laughing at them for being the worst reflection of society. And God forbid someone tells Netflix about the hero or hate crime episode, where a whole bunch of slurs are used, again, demonstrating the ignorance of the characters who are almost always the joke. Netflix also pulled an episode of With Bob and David, the unofficial sequel to Bob Odenkirk and David Cross's incredible Mr. Show, because of a sketch in which David Cross's character, a nuisance who keeps going through a sobriety checkpoint to try and get the cops to do something for his shitty vlog, dresses in blackface. We're laughing at the characters for doing this because he's the moron. He's the one with the thought that this is what will make cops finally do something to him so he can catch them on film and put it on YouTube. The black officer, played by Keegan-Michael Key, gets fed up and they end up macing and beating David Cross's character, which might fit into the other major discussion about police abusing their power, but they're doing it because he's a nuisance who won't stop wasting their time. It's not racially motivated. But Netflix isn't making a judgment call based on the satire or the actual message. They're just going, uh-oh, they're doing blackface. We gotta remove this so we can say we did something. Ironically, The Onion's AV Club, the serious branch of the satire website that's made offensive jokes in the name of comedy for years, said, ultimately, Odenkirk and Cross's intentions are irrelevant. There is no excuse for donning blackface. What a blanket statement to make, suggesting then that this is no different than minstrel shows of the 1800s. And there's a world of difference. This goes back to the whole All in the Family thing, where Archie Bunker was the joke. The show aired in the 70s, by the way, so progressiveness isn't new, I guess. But the idea was that when Archie made Lionel tell him that he wanted to be an electrical engineer, and Archie laughed at Lionel's accent, which Lionel put on to mock Archie for being such a bigot, we were laughing at Archie being a fucking idiot. When he said racial slurs, we're supposed to go, oh man, this guy's so out of touch, what a fucking moron. He was the sad old dinosaur watching the world pass him by, occasionally learning a lesson. Or if you look at Tropic Thunder, which I've actually seen tweets from people going, oh my god, I can't believe Robert Downey Jr. did blackface once. Wait till you hear about all the other stuff he did. But he was lampooning method actors who do ridiculous things to stay in character, with the most absurd things someone could think of, and other characters call him out for it. But there's a huge difference between those minstrel shows, where white people dressed up as ridiculous caricatures of black people and then acted lazy and simple and did ridiculous hello there accents like Amos and Andy for the amusement of other white people to go, yeah, them black people do talk funny. And characters in It's Always Sunny showing us, man, look at how fucking stupid people who dress up in blackface are. It's making fun of racists, which I think we need now more than ever, to normalize the idea that they are a joke, and that if you're a racist, you deserve to be made fun of for your out-of-touch beliefs. And I think removing these episodes on Netflix only insults people's intelligence by suggesting that they're not smart enough to understand the comedy, and funny enough, drowns out the important things. Because Netflix owners also gave $120 million of their own personal money to educational institutions that help black students. That is the story that should be trending, but it's not, because instead, they have to get in their own fucking way by going, oh, don't worry, we got rid of that pesky blackface episode of It's Always Sunny, which by the way, we only got rid of now, and not when we put the series up, because even though we've known blackface has been frowned upon since like 1930, when we put the series up, there wasn't any reason to get our name out there. I mean, Netflix funded the With Bob and David series. It's a Netflix original. Realistically, someone with some power would have had to have seen the sketch before it went up. In fact, they had the sketch on their official YouTube channel, promoting the show. They only took that down after David Cross tweeted using their link. So either that person in charge was a fucking racist idiot who said, blackface, that's funny as hell. Or they said, oh yeah, this is a great piece of satire. No problems here. Or they have to admit that they have no quality control and don't give a shit what gets put on their service until someone complains, or until there's a cultural movement that they can benefit from. So which is it, Netflix? Were you incompetent, racist, or opportunistic? Just like you do with episodes, just go ahead and delete one of those and keep the rest.